Hey YouTube, this is Hathos, and I wanted to make a video about the AYN Thor, mostly because I just got this in recently and I've been loving it, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to make a video just talking about it, and also seeing if I can answer any questions for anyone, and if you have any questions about it or anything in the video, just go ahead and ask. I only have like 5 subscribers, so very likely I'll be able to get to your question. Let's talk about. And by the way, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not going with any script or anything, so this will be pretty raw. But let's talk about, I guess, the body. So got some devices to compare it against. So this is a Nintendo DS Lite. So yeah, definitely larger. Although this is like, if I was to compare it with like my smartphone here, right? S25 Ultra, this is not as tall. It's wider and it's thicker, but it's able to be put in most pockets, I'd say, for men. For women, probably not, because of just how women pants are made, but this would definitely go in a bag or a small purse. And a more direct comparison would be this. This is a new Nintendo 3DS XL, which this is a bit taller, but not as wide. And slightly thinner, but the thickness is pretty much the same. Now the difference is going to be when we open it. Oh, let's not have music. No, I don't think that'd get the video taken down. There we go. Man, that is a big difference in screen size. Let's see, I do have, and I'll compare the audio in a bit. I do have some other devices. I have a Anbernic RJ35 XXSP, which surprisingly is thicker. Obviously, it's not as wide. And I do have a Retroid Pocket 5. I'm actually getting rid of this soon, because, spoiler, there's not really a point in having this now that I have the AYN Thor. The only advantage of this would be like the D-pad on the top, but the majority of games, just the Thor is going to be much better. And yeah, one thing here is the screen size on the Thor is much bigger. I believe this is like a 5.5, and this might be a 6. I'll have the specs in the description of the video. This isn't going to be the type of video for getting specs and detailed benchmarks, but yeah, so even though this here is wider because of the form factor, yeah, the screen is much bigger in a Thor, not to mention you have the second screen, which, yeah, it's like the Thor is like having both of these combined. Yeah, I know, but each screen on it is bigger than these two screens as well. That's pretty awesome. All right. I have one last thing here. I got a Nintendo Switch 2, which, let's get the brightness up, which is definitely a bigger screen, though much larger bezels, and also this is not going in a pocket. So yeah, a few things about this. In case you don't know, and by the way, I have Emulation Station, or ESDE, as the front end here. But this here has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which means it can emulate pretty much everything. The only exceptions will be a few Wii U games, mainly because the Wii U emulator on Android is not that good yet. Pardon. Maybe some of the most intensive Switch games, although most Switch games will run like fine at 30 FPS on this. And a few PS3 and Xbox games, but that's more down to the emulator rather than the power. So this is fairly powerful, and I'll go through some examples. But as opposed to something like a Retroid Pocket 5, which this has I believe it's Snapdragon 865. This will play everything up to Wii with no issues, and only a select few Switch games at full frame rate. So something like a Tears of the Kingdom, right? You wouldn't really want to get this if that's the type of game you want to be playing. Where Tears of the Kingdom would run better on this. It also definitely run better on something more powerful like the Odin 3. Now, one other thing this can do, and let's exit the front end, is play Steam games. But actually, before I do that, let me get the 3DS back out. I want to compare. These would be the main three I'm going to compare. Let's compare maximum brightness. And yeah, the brightness, and I'm not sure how well it comes across on camera, the brightness between the Thor and the new Nintendo 3DS XL, it's night and day. This is significantly brighter, not to mention this is it's an OLED or an AMOLED, it's one of them, display, so the contrast is on a completely different level compared to this one here in particular has an IPS display, where it was kind of like a lottery for the original new Nintendo 3DS XL, where some of them had IPS top displays and some of them had TN top displays. So I got lucky with this one, but yeah, even with this being one of the good ones, it's night and day. These two, and I have this in max. Yep. Fairly close. It's close enough where, to be honest, I can't tell which one is brighter, because some differences may just come down to temperature and accuracy of color. But they're both pretty bright. I don't think you're gonna have issues with either one in most scenarios. Let's also check sound. Now, one thing I gotta do is, okay, the sound out of the box for this is not that good. Likewise for this, there's some great fixes that you can do, and I'm gonna have those links in the description that do significantly make the sound better. So let's just go to Gamecube. Something that won't get alright. Alright, so the sound is, to be honest, serviceable on both. It's not really gonna wow you. Let's do a A/B comparison with the JamesDSP sound fix that's gonna be in the video description. So right now, this is the out of the box sound, and then this is the sound with the fix. Which is just a night and day comparison. With this, the sound becomes excellent. The main limiting factor becomes volume, where it's just not that loud. And that's where you definitely want to have, I mean, for me, I just use headphones. Like, these are truthier hexas, and these sound great. You can either, this does have a 3.5 millimeter jack at the bottom, so you can plug in IEMs directly. Also has Bluetooth, so you can use Bluetooth headphones. It'll also work with a USB-C DAC. So that's honestly the ideal way, but if you just want to use the speakers, that will serve you. Alright, so yeah, that's the display and that's the sound. I do think the sound on this, yeah, the sound on the 3DS actually holds up. I think that the drivers on this are, there's definitely, Nintendo gave way more space for the drivers, where speakers very often just come down to how much space you have. In terms of resolution though, with that James DSP fix, it's gonna sound better on this. Now this order isn't logical at all. Again, I'm not a big YouTuber. I want to go over some accessories. So on this, I do have the official Retroid screen protector, both on the top and the bottom, which are pretty fine. they fit fine. The annoying part is the application, because it's not like a fancy, easy applier, which I'm kind of like used to now with like modern smartphones, but yeah, it's easy enough to put on. I have this soft bag for it, which I don't really see myself using. I already have a tiny scratch on here. I don't really care much about scratches on outside personally. The scratch on the screen would annoy me, but scratching outside is fine, and I have a sticker on the way that's gonna cover that. But if you are the person who does care about scratches on the outside, there's also this TPU case, which is like a soft plastic, though I don't like it because even like brand new, like this is pretty much new, you see like it's kind of like yellow, and then over time it gets more and more yellow. Also, some people don't mind it. To me, it makes it feel really cheap, but it does do the job in terms of protecting it. And some might say that even makes it more comfortable. Now, what doesn't make it more comfortable is a grip like this. This is the official grip, but there's also tons of other ones on Etsy. And this will fit it with or without the TPU case. And yeah, the grip makes whether you have big hands or small hands, and I have small hands, the grip makes a massive difference in terms of ergonomics, especially if you want to use the D-pad here. And what I like about the grip too, well, about the case that's included, they have two cases. They have one that is designed to fit it with the grip, and then one designed to fit it without the grip. And the way I see it is that, personally, like, because it's a clamshell, most of the time if I'm going to take this on a go and not have the grip, I'm just going to put it in my pocket. And if I'm going to have the grip, then I'd use the case. So, let me take this off. I'm definitely not a fan of it, but some people like it. But yeah, this grip here, yeah, that's really nice. A good time to talk about the buttons. Let's turn on these LEDs. So these, yeah, you can make any color. These ticks are really, really nice for this form factor. Pretty much the same as the Retroid Pocket 5 sticks. And yeah, night and day. Much better than the circle pad on the 3DS here. And 1,000 times better than the C-stick nub here. Now, yeah, the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, even though these are Hall effects, so this uses a better tech than what's in these. But these do feel good. They're very, very smooth, which Nintendo's engineers have put a lot of focus into. as they said in interviews. The main question is going to be longevity, where these should last a very long time. These, time will tell. I'm thinking, or I hope Nintendo would have learned from the Switch 1, but again, time will tell. But yeah, no, the sticks on these are great. D-pad. D-pad is fun. Oh, yeah, pretty good actually. I just realized, I think this D-pad is identical to the one in the Retroid Pocket 5. The main issue with the D-pad is the positioning. Which, if you don't have, let's say, something like a grip, then the D-pad is difficult to use for a D-pad-centric game. The grip will make it much better depending on the size of your hands. And, yeah, buttons are pretty fine. They're quieter than the face buttons in a Retroid Pocket 5. And compared to the 3DS, a bit louder, though one thing is there's a lot more travel on these compared to the 3DS. I don't know if you can tell here that the buttons stick out more than on the 3DS, which I think that comes down to preference. I think both are fine. What's contentious here is the shoulder buttons. L1 and R1 are fine. I think they're better on this, but this has the advantage of the form factor. Oh, it's not activate the camera. Now, a lot of people have complaints though about the L2 and the R2, and I see that even on Etsy, someone is making replacements, or not really replacements, but they go like on these, and I have them ordered. So let me know if you want to see them, but just to like make these stick out more, because as they are right now, they can be difficult to get to. Especially games where you need to use both. Yeah, like if, I don't know, you're playing like a Dark Souls, right? Where you're using R1 for light attack and R2 for heavy attack. Yeah, that wouldn't really be my my favorite. Where, yeah, on this, there's like way more travel. Especially if it's like an analog game, like, I don't know, you're playing Super Mario Sunshine or a racing game. Yeah, it's not much travel on this, but it is much better than what's on the 3DS, where you just have these tiny buttons here. So I think it's fine again for the form factor. Definitely room for improvement. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it may be a deal breaker for you depending on the type of games that you play. But again, I'm curious, like that accessory from Etsy that goes right on these. I'm curious how much that changes things. Because like the way I see it, like if it's like like a $10 accessory put on it and it makes it better to use, then yeah, that's great and that's worth factoring. Okay, I think I talked enough about the body, and yeah, this isn't really like there's more in-depth reviews out there, right? Like Retro Game Corps or I believe it's Joey's Handhelds. Like there's a ton of great channels out there for more details. I wanted to really just cover things that might not have been covered on other channels. Oh yeah, the accessory kit did come with a strap, which you can do here in either corner. I don't really use these, but there's probably some people out there who actually care about these. And yeah, I'm struggling to feed it through, so I'm gonna move on. Now let's talk about what it can play. So on here, games that I have that I 100% legally own and dump these ROMs myself. Actually, let me exit Emulation Station. So let's talk about, obviously, so this should handle everything Wii and under perfectly with no issue whatsoever. So, something like, let's go to Dolphin, which I don't have Wii set up, but I do have Gamecube set up. And then I say Super Smash Brothers, which I have configured to compile the shaders beforehand because that makes it much better once you're in, but it takes time, which probably isn't the best idea for a video. But here, the cool thing is while that loads, you can do stuff on the bottom screen. So on the bottom screen here, let's get I could do YouTube. Oh look, a video from Isaac OS on that has the AYN Thor on the cover. So yeah, it's one. This really cool thing is when I can go here and be like, I want to see videos on the AYN Thor, and oh look, you got a video yesterday from Monster Tech, Retro Game Corps, International Tech, Wolfden, Tech Dweeb, like tons of Joey's Retro Handhelds, tons of great channels here. But yeah, you can watch the video while you while I play a game on the top. I got the widescreen hack. Audio is sounding great, and again with the JamesDSP fix, sounds so much better. Vibration is serviceable. the vibration on the Retroid Pocket 5 is definitely better. This is definitely good, and I don't even think this. I'm pretty sure this does not have any vibration at all, so it's nice to have. This also does have gyro and everything, so you'll be able to play any type of game on it. Obviously, you're not gonna be like a professional Super Smash Bros. Melee player. Is not gonna be, you know, well, there might be wave dashing like but it's not gonna be best for competitive play. But as you see, like, it runs perfectly. And well, this counter I know is inaccurate. But one thing that is accurate is actually this power consumption widget here. But right now it's saying that it's using around 5 watts of power, and that's what this I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is at max brightness. Normally it'd be like a half brightness. So what if that actually lowers the power? Yeah, it does lower the power uses. Actually, I should probably check what's better in the video. Okay, so the battery size on this, I believe it's 22 or 23 watt hours. Which what I can do is I can look it up. AYN Thor. Which is, again, not a professional YouTuber, right? A professional YouTuber would fact check things beforehand, but I'm just gonna look at things during the video. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, and then you had to convert it, factoring in things like voltage and amperage. I'm pretty sure when you convert it, it ends up being like 22 watt hours. So that'll be the number I'm gonna go with. I'm pretty sure it's either 22 or 21 or 23. It's like one of those. So let's say 22, meaning this here, when it's using 5 watts, that means you'll pretty much get 4 hours of battery life. With 4 hours of battery life playing Gamecube at max brightness, that's pretty good. And obviously, like, you can do stuff because I have like Wi-Fi on and quite a few things on, but you'd be able to definitely get that to be, oh yeah, of course having Chrome, you'd definitely be able to get that much longer. Like, yeah, if I turn on the brightness, I can get it down to like maybe 4 watts, which would be the difference between 4 hours of battery life and 5 hours of battery life. Or adjusting the settings for the emulator, where right now I'm pretty sure I had this running at 3 times the native. So, you know, if you drop down, you're going to be using less power and you'll get longer battery life. And other systems will have a longer battery life as well. Like if you playing on RetroArch, and yeah, let's say Mario Kart 64. Let's say. Don't have a I need to have a shader, because you can't play a Nintendo 64 game without a shader. Yeah, GM is fine. Now here, yeah, power usage is a lot lower. Like with this here, you can get 6-7 hours of battery life. One thing that's nice too is because it's a OLED display, the black borders on the side is just, it doesn't bother you. So even like with the CRT shader, adding small, black bars at the top and the bottom, it still looks pretty great. Oh, one thing, yeah, I do want to talk about, because I don't think many reviewers actually talked about this, is how well a stylus works with it. Let me get the other one. Okay, that took me more time than I thought, but I can cut that out. So, and I'm gonna turn off these lights actually. There we go. So, one thing that you may want to use this for, one of the best use cases would be Wii U or 3DS, because you have two screens. So let's say you got a game like Pokemon Art Academy. Oh, and by the way, one thing, I've been using this the entire video, but I haven't talked about it, is you press this button here, it brings up a AYN specific interface here that has a lot of quick controls specific to the device. For example, adjusting brightness for each screen separately, volume for each screen separately, which is really cool, turning off one or the other displays, quick task manager, power modes, as well as like controlling which screen is controlled by the buttons, which most of the time you have it locked to top screen. Okay, so let's say you want to play a game like Pokemon Art Academy, which uses both screens, works great either Azahar or Citron, which both work great. Apparently some of them work better for some games over others. I've not played enough games to have found some of those use cases, but I'm pretty sure that's in my opinion, just have both installed and just see if the game that you want to play at the moment runs well on one, and if it does, then just play the game on that. This game works fine on either. But let's go to Free Paint. And yeah, let's see, we want to draw a Pikachu. All right. So I have two types of styluses here. So one is, so this is a capacitive touchscreen, same as any modern smartphone, as opposed to the original 3DS, which had a resistive touchscreen. So this is a works more on a pressor. So this works with a fingernail or really any physical object, and works great for like precision. Not really compared to like a modern stylus, but it was fine for the time. Where capacitive touchscreens are meant for fingers. So if I want to do something like draw, you're not really going to get the accuracy you really want with the finger. I mean, you can. You're not gonna get the best results. So they do have styluses like this. And this should be like, $10. This is the official Nintendo Switch stylus, actually, imported from Japan. Where the general idea of these is the stylus itself is in a way conductive. So just you holding it, it takes, now I'm just going to use very general terms. It takes kind of like the I'm pretty sure it's electromagnetism. It's definitely not heat. It's not thermal based. But actually, let's use vague terms. It takes the energy, right? The energy from your hands, and it transfers it to the tip, and you can use it that way. Now, and I do want to know, I do have the screen protector on it, and from my experiences, but it's not actually skipping, but sometimes I found that like I'd be drawing and it'd be like skipping like that, and it's actually working pretty fun right now. But sometimes it hasn't worked fine. But ultimately, I want to say just I don't really recommend these, because what exists, and I didn't know existed, because I've never needed to buy this, but they have things like this. This is a active capacitive stylus, which, again, I didn't even know that these existed. But this will effectively, you turn it on, and so these being active means that you had to charge these. These have a battery in it. The battery life will be like, I think on this one's like 20 hours, so more than long enough. And it will, because it's active, it's not relying on your fingers and transferring the energy to the tip, where it will be generating it itself at the very bottom. And it just works amazingly. Like any, well, this obviously this is resistive. It's going to work on this even if it's turned off. But yeah, any touchscreen. So any capacitive touchscreen, smartphone, this is just work on it. And the great thing about this is I think like this year I picked up for like $15 on Amazon, which is like gonna be like $5 more expensive than these passive capacitive styluses. So there's, in my opinion, there's no reason to not get an active capacitive stylus, because they're pretty cheap. I'll link the one that I got below. And it's not going to be an affiliate link or anything, but to be honest, like, there's like a bunch of these made by no-name Chinese brands, and they all are pretty much the same. So just get any one that, you know, you look at it and it happens to have like 4 stars or higher and a good price and good shipping. Just get it, and it'll work fine. Like, this year has been absolutely great. So if I want to, let's say, do something with like some precision, oh, I should disclose that I'm not an artist. But yeah, this is yeah, let's say I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try to do that with this. Yeah, these curved at the top, but did it do the same for that as well? God, that could just be the touchscreen. Could just be my penmanship. Could just be the game, but yeah, you're definitely getting more accuracies because, like, it's a fine tip. So yeah, these I highly recommend. Yeah, these are great. And yeah, 3DS in general runs amazingly on this. What's a game that I have on both? Because I wanna, because then I can compare brightness. I have Mario Kart 7. Do I have Mario Kart 7 in this? I don't. Etrian Odyssey. Okay, yeah, let's do Etrian Odyssey. So let's do comparison. Max brightness in both. Let's see first of all how long it takes to load the game on each. Yeah. So much faster. I mean, okay, it's not that slow on the 3DS, but it's going to be faster on the AYN Thor. And again, look at the difference. And yeah, this is the 3D off. But look at the difference in brightness and in the vibrancy of the colors. Oh man, that's a... Yeah, I cannot play this. I would say I'm one of the few people who liked the 3D and the 3DS. But I'm more than willing to give that up after seeing how good the OLED display on this is. Not to mention, like, this year the resolution is upscaled. I think I have it set to like 3 times or 4 times resolution, so you're gonna get a clear image that way. let's do a comparison here in terms of audio. Because why not? Okay, yeah. AYN Thor definitely has the advantage, so. And then. The one, I would say, like, one thing to consider, not that it really matters for most games, is that the bottom screen is bigger on the new 3DS XL. But the top screen is bigger on the AYN Thor, and the majority of games, 3DS games, are going to be focused on the top screen. All right. Two more games I want to talk about, or systems. Switch. I've not played that many Switch games on here. And one thing, actually, let me make sure I have it. Yep. So let's say Xenoblade 3, which I own, dump my own ROM legally. So Nintendo, they come after me. But yeah, Xenoblade 3 here. Runs pretty great, actually. I was surprised. But I'm pretty much getting even on standard mode, a capped 30 FPS. Actually, yeah, I would say spoilers. For the very beginning of Future Redeemed, so skip this part if you don't want to be spoiled. When I say very beginning, I mean like I'm right at the beginning, so what's here doesn't really spoil anything for the main game yet, but yeah, that's a perfect 30 FPS right now with no stuttering, and with this power usage here, you get like 2.5 hours of battery. By the way, I'm using this small FPS counter here in the top left corner. This one here is inaccurate. But yeah, this is pretty good. And I will say, like, I have pretty much over 200 hours in this game on an emulator from for the base game, and yeah, like you can play this entire game through with no issues. I'm using the latest turn-up driver. Not every Switch game is gonna run this well, but the majority will. And there's websites like I'll link it in the description, like EmuReady, where the community shares their experiences. So yeah, here I do even have to put it to high performance mode. mean, I don't think it really makes a difference. Well, just in terms of yeah, no, this runs pretty well. So yeah, Switch. A lot of Switch games are gonna run pretty great on it. One thing I'm disappointed that I didn't get to try yet, and let me know if you want me to try it in another video. But I've been having issues with the Simu for Wii U, where it's just not. I think it's a issue where normally I think I saw videos where when you load up Simu for the first time, I think it's supposed to ask for permissions, but it didn't for me. So it's not finding any of my games, even though like it does, for example, on my Retroid Pocket 5 with the same exact configuration. So that's something I gotta troubleshoot and fix. The last thing here, or the last, oh, and this works great, by the way, for streaming. Like Sunshine and Moonlight, or Artemis and Apollo. This year, I've used it quite a bit to stream games from my PC. But beyond that, Gamehub Lite, which let's make sure it doesn't. Yep, it doesn't show any private info. Yeah, Gamehub Lite is you can run Steam games natively, like from your Steam library, games that you buy, games that you own on Steam. This can play them. Application launch failed. Interesting. Is that because I'm not logged in? Okay. Logging in. Oh no, it worked. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, this is by the way, minor spoilers. Or actually, no, I can start from the very, very beginning of the game without throwing away my save, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Oh, and let me put the top screen to 120 FPS mode. Let's see how much performance we can get. So this here is Hollow Knight Silksong. Very popular indie game on Steam. Skipping the cutscenes here. And even though this is a native Steam game, with advancements in x86 to ARM, translation layers, stuff like FX, and tons of great stuff that the community is working on, we can run these games natively on this hardware. So right now, let's look at my settings. Yeah, so it's 720p. I'm getting around 90 FPS. Oh, but I gotta check one thing. I may have it capped. Yeah, oh, I have it capped. Let's turn the cap off. I'm getting 117 FPS, which I've not seen it go above 117. And by the way, this is 120 hertz display here. So I think whether, I mean, VSync is off. Oh, no, that's the game's cap. So if I turn off the frame rate cap in the game, 150 FPS. Native hardware. How incredible is that? Now, at that power there, based on the power usage here, around 10 watts, you get like, this is around 2 hours of battery life. So realistically, what you'd want to do is cap it to one of two things. Either cap it to 120. Because one, there's no reason to go above the refresh rate of the screen. And yeah, the battery life slightly improves. So you get like a bit over 2 hours of battery life. Which, for an old man like me, that's a long enough gaming session. Or if you have an outlet or a battery, then you can get longer. Or let's say, we put this to 60 FPS. And yes, cap it to 60 FPS here, which should allow us to put it to standard performance mode. And look at that drop in power usage. That is between 5 to 6 watts. Actually, yeah, like 5 watts now. So this is now over 4 hours of battery life. So you can get pretty much a bit over 2 hours of battery life at 120 FPS, or 4 hours at 60 FPS, which is just amazing. This is incredible. And yeah, this is a game for sure. Like, some people can play with the analog stick. I prefer the D-pad for a game like this. And when using a D-pad, oh yeah, that. Yeah, like this is great. Yeah, like this is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, the Thor, it pretty much can play anything. Yeah, that's a bug there, by the way. Sometimes the bottom screen will not have the launcher, which, yeah, that does happen sometimes. Let's see. I think one way you can resolve this is if you open an application that you had on the bottom screen. Nope. Let's try this then. How about you can hold an application, Click on screen launch and do bottom screen. Nope. That didn't work. Let's try another application. Melon DS. Screen launch. Bottom screen. Nope. What if I do only top screen? Yeah. One way that would resolve this for sure would be restarting the system. So yeah, that is a annoying bug that I've not come across that often, but it's annoying that it happens. But I'm happy that it did happen here, because that way I get to shut it off. But yeah, the AYN Thor, this is a dream for retro game enthusiasts. Pretty much any console you want, or just a bunch of light Steam games. Like Dark Souls 2, for example, I was having run on this the other day at 30 FPS. I had to drop the settings, but the fact that I could get 30 FPS on Dark Souls 2 natively, like, that's like incredible. Though, ideally, I think streaming, if you have good internet, would be a better option, because nowadays with stuff like NVIDIA streaming, the latency is like practically nothing. Okay, I gotta exit this before I just start playing. Oh, okay. One last thing on the topic of things I didn't really see other reviewers do, and I'm gonna turn on the light. Yeah, because it's night here. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, let's turn this off. Let's see how repairable this is. So have a see. Yeah, the screws here in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me turn on this flashlight on my watch and I can get a closer look. Looks like a tiny Phillips. So I'm gonna guess maybe just this one. Nope, not that one. How about that one? Oh yeah, that. And oh yeah, by the way, I have in this a this is I don't think I said what this is. This is the max model. I don't really think you need 16 gigs of VRAM. But it might depend on what you're playing on Gamehub. But from what I saw, I think 12 is going to be enough for most things. But the terabyte storage is nice, and then I also have in here a 2 terabyte micro SD card for a total of 3 terabytes. So I don't have to, make sure I don't have to like install and uninstall Steam games. Also, I can put like on it movies and stuff. Screw here is a different size. I don't want to strip it. Okay. Now, how easily does this come off? I'm pretty sure that's all the screws here. Let's pull from there. One second, I have some tools. So I have a LTT precision screwdriver, and then I have a, here's just the basic iFixit kit. But these which I found are really useful. Oh, see that, you gotta, okay, maybe this is just for glass. I get that. Definitely not professional. I think actually, here's my best bet. Oh yeah, that's definitely the way to go. I just put this here, and that snapped off very nicely. Okay, there we go. There we go. And yep, no damage, nice. So nice and easy. This is actually my first time taking a look. Let's see here. So we got the battery, pretty nice sized battery. That'd be the fan. Yeah, I think that's the right joystick. So I would say that, yeah, and I don't see any tape. I see lots of screws, which is a good thing. Yeah, so I'm not gonna give it like I'm not gonna take it apart any further than this or give it like an iFixit score. But I would say that this is going to be pretty easy to repair if needed. Now, how available the parts are going to be, I can't say. Probably not that variable, but yeah, something like replacing a battery, at the very least, that's going to be pretty easy. As well as, I don't know, if someone makes some, yeah, I'd love to see some custom back plates. That'd be pretty easy to install. All right, and let's just put it back together. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I don't think these are the, I don't know, they are the same size, but for some reason, for this one here in the bottom right, yeah, I'll use this larger size here. I might. Oh, you know, sometimes I'm gonna say it's the pressure of making a video. You know, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Here I am screwing it the wrong way. I'm normally smarter than that. So please don't adjust too hard. I'm like, why is it not going in? Well, because you're turning it the wrong way. All right. With that, it is put back together. And let's see here. Also, I'll turn it on so you can see how fast it goes from being off to being on. Not that you really ever need to turn this off. It's your Android handheld, so you can just keep in sleep mode. But here, you can see the startup time. Oh, I think I had to hold it for longer. Ah, there we go. And yeah, those are my unorganized impressions. Yeah, you see that loads very quick. But yeah, those are my unorganized impressions of the AYN Thor. I just think this is cool, so I just wanted to talk about it and show off some things that may not have been in other videos. And again, benefit of me having 5 subscribers and this video probably only getting like 10 views is that if you have a question about this, go ahead and ask, and I'll be more than happy to answer. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Drop a subscribe if you want to see more unorganized videos like this, or maybe perhaps an organized video one day. And yeah, have a good one.